All right, so Venezuela. I've tried to organize my thoughts on this so I'm not super scatterbrained and all over the road, but I'm afraid I'm probably going to be. So basically, there's two major categories here. There's your economic category, your reason for doing what they did, and then there's your geopolitical. I want to start with the economic and just be, kind of smash mouth about it. Yes, there is a lot of nickel, there is a lot of gold, and a lot of oil down in Venezuela. Now, the oil is heavy oil. It's hard to process, and it's not really as valuable, but there's a lot of it. The gold is insane, the amount of gold. And just, rare earth minerals and all that kind of stuff. We are really, 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 really in debt. Now, for you people out there crying that it's just about the oil, or just about the natural resources, yeah, it's not just about it, but that has a lot to do with it. I can guarantee you that. But just real quick, do me a favor, take a look in the mirror, most of you. That's who you need to blame for this, because most of you people are the ones who vote for the BBD, you know what I'm saying? The bigger, better deal. What's in it for me right now? Run up the debt to, give me shit that I don't need or can't afford on my own, and you just don't care. Well, this is the price that people are going to pay, right? It's not, money just doesn't fall out of trees. This is what happens when an empire becomes in debt. And I'm not agreeing with it. I'm not happy about it. But you're like a fat guy just with, wrist deep in chocolate cake, just hoofing it into his mouth, left hand, right hand, and then complaining that your waist is getting bigger. Where do you think this debt is gonna go? Anyways, so that's part of the economic. The second part of the economic is this. We had a pretty good deal with Venezuela going all the way back to the 19-teens, 1920s that lasted, till pretty recently. We sunk a lot of our money, treasure, and expertise into that country to bring the refining processes required for that heavy oil into Venezuela. We brought a lot of that kind of infrastructure down there. And when the communists took over, they basically took it all. So that's another reason why. Again, I'm not making excuses. I'm just pointing out the reasoning behind this, right? So the reasoning behind it is you basically stole a lot of our shit, right? We put a lot of time and effort into, the infrastructure down there, and then you just kind of walked away with it and then destroyed it, basically. So it's another motivation, I would think. So those are your two big economic reasons. When it comes to geopolitical, look, Venezuela and the weakened state it's in right now because of the communists is going to be someone's puppet. It's going to be a client state to somebody. It is. This is just the hard truth. It's going to be a client state to China, or to Russia, or to Tehran, or to the United States. You pick which one you want it to be. But that's just the truth, man. I wish it wasn't so. I wish it wasn't so, but it is. It's going to be a puppet state. All right? That's the first part of the geopolitical. The second part of the geopolitical is this action sends a message to other little dictators around the world, which like I said, again, I'm not agreeing with this method. I'm just telling you what the fruit of this is. It sends a very clear message that we can AT&T you. You may not like that message, you may not like the way it was delivered, but it was very, very clear. We can reach out and touch you, So that has value. You may not like it, but it does have value. Let's see, what else for the geopolitical? Yeah. This is our hemisphere, and while I understand that we don't want people in our hemisphere, I think we need to be, kind of clear-headed about this and understand that we're in other people's hemispheres of the world. So you're going to see these kind of, back and forth incursions. And this, the Venezuela fall, I spent the last 2 days really looking into Venezuela. The Venezuela fall really had a lot to do with Cuba. Basically, all the people running Venezuela were affiliated with Castro, or Cubans themselves, which I think is probably why Marco Rubio, little Marco, has got his little cowboy boots and a tissy over Venezuela. Look, bottom line, I don't like what's going on in Venezuela, but it's action reaction. It really is. We spent ourselves trillions of dollars in debt, and now the people that voted for that trillions of dollars of debt are upset because the government is doing something to offset that debt balance in Venezuela. You're stupid. I'm sorry, but you are. Venezuela is going to be a puppet state to somebody because it's too weak to stand by itself and it's way too rich. That's just what it is. I mean, if you don't believe me, look into the recent past, the amount of Russian special forces, Chinese intelligence that have been crawling all over Venezuela. Now, I'm not going to get into the Hezbollah training camps. That's certain people propaganda that I don't really buy. But I understand why Russia and China are there, because they're there for the same reasons as us. You know what I'm saying? They want a foothold in our hemisphere just like we want a foothold in theirs. They want the gold, the oil, the nickel, the rare earth minerals just like we do. That makes total sense. So again, you may like it. You may not like it. I don't really like it because I understand that what comes next may be bad. I don't want our guys on the ground in there acting as police. Don't. I understand there's a lot of... And this is the other thing, real quick. Venezuela is largely a Catholic nation, a Christian nation. Now, I seem to remember us clutching our pearls anytime a Muslim dictator hurt a Muslim anywhere in the world, but we seem to roll our eyes and yawn anytime Christians are oppressed. I look at silver linings on this one. A Catholic nation, a Christian nation, largely, majority, was just liberated from a communist dictator. Is it our business to be doing that as Americans? No. But can my heart swell with pride as my Christian brethren are set free from the tyrannical yoke of a communist? Yeah. So that's what it is. That's my take on it. I'll take questions or venomous comments. All right, happy Sunday, guys.